Okay, so picture this. Your body is like this incredible fortress, but it's constantly being tested by all sorts of unseen invaders. The good news, though, you've got this amazing internal security force working for you 24/7. So today, we're going to meet the absolute first responders, the ones who show up the second there's trouble.
So, who are these microscopic sentinels? Well, they're a class of cells called phagocytes. And let me tell you, they are the absolute front line of what we call your innate immune system. We're going to zoom in on two of the most important players in this whole drama. All right, first up, we've got the bruiser of the bunch, the real heavy hitter. Meet the macrophage. And its name is perfect. It literally means big eater. Seriously, just think of it as your body's all-in-one security guard and cleanup crew. You know, what's so fascinating is their origin story. See, a macrophage isn't just born a macrophage. Nope, it actually starts its life as a totally different cell, a monocyte, that's just kind of cruising through your blood. But when trouble calls, it moves into your tissues and completely transforms into this powerful defender ready for action wherever an infection might be brewing. So let's break down its profile, kind of like a player's stat sheet. These cells are super smart. They're positioned strategically right at your body's gateways. We're talking your lungs, your gut, all those places. The second an alarm for inflammation or infection goes off, bam, they're the first ones on the scene. And their main mission? It's simple, it's direct. Find anything that shouldn't be there, pathogens, junk, whatever, and just eat it. So, how does it actually do its job? Well, it's this beautifully efficient 5-step process. First up, it recognizes the invaders using these special sensors it has on its surface. Then it gets activated, which is basically it getting the official go signal to attack. Step 3, it engulfs the invader, literally swallowing it whole. After that, it destroys the threat with this seriously potent chemical cocktail. And finally, and this part is so important, it signals for backup. It releases these chemicals called cytokines, which is pretty much the cellular equivalent of shouting, "Hey, we've got a major problem over here." And this is what's so cool, because it shows the macrophage is way more than just a mindless eating machine. Yeah, fighting invaders is its main gig for sure, but it's also a master of tissue repair. It cleans up after a battle to help you heal. It's constantly on patrol, keeping an eye out for tumors. And it even helps gather intel by showing bits of the bad guys to other immune cells. It's a true multitasker. Okay, let's move on to our next character, because this is where the story really builds. If the macrophage is the bruiser on the front line, then the dendritic cell, well, it's the master intelligence agent. It's the spy, gathering critical information and reporting back to HQ. Now, the key word here is bridge. I want you to remember that. The dendritic cell performs one of the most vital, absolutely critical functions in your entire immune system. It connects that immediate kind of brute force response of your innate immunity with this super specialized, targeted attack of your adaptive immune system. Without that bridge, your body's best defenders would just be flying blind. They'd have no idea what to do. So let's take a look at its fact sheet. It's a sentinel, a watchman, and it's stationed right where threats are most likely to get in. Your skin, your lungs, your gut. It even has these specialized forms for different locations, like Langerhans cells in the skin. But its ultimate #1 most important job? To find the enemy and deliver the intel needed to activate the absolute elite special forces of your immune system, the naive T cells. Okay, let's follow one on its mission. Imagine an invader, let's say a virus or some bacteria, manages to break through your outer defenses. The dendritic cell, which is always watching, immediately detects this breach, and its mission begins. Now, here's the cool part. It doesn't just destroy the threat. No, it captures it. It takes it in as evidence. And this is the intelligence pathway. It captures the antigen, that's the foreign substance. Then it acts like a forensic analyst. It literally breaks the invader down to find its most unique identifying features. With this critical intel, it leaves the front line and travels to the nearest headquarters, your lymph nodes. And there, it presents this evidence on these special molecules, basically showing it to the naive T cells and saying, look, this is the enemy. This is what you need to hunt down and destroy. And that single act, that kicks off the entire adaptive immune response. So now you can start to see the bigger picture, right? You've got the immediate, localized action of the macrophage, and then you have the intelligence gathering mission of the dendritic cell. Together, they form this perfect 1-2 punch, bridging that gap between an immediate local skirmish and a massive, long-term, targeted attack. Yeah, this quote really just says it all. Think about it.
Without that bridge, the little fight at the site of infection would never translate into a full-scale, system-wide military campaign. The dendritic cell is the messenger that makes this whole escalation possible, and it's what ensures a small problem doesn't turn into a catastrophic one.
So let's put them side by side one more time just to make it super clear. On one hand, you've got the macrophage. That's your bruiser, your frontline soldier. It's there to handle the immediate threat and clean up the mess. Then, on the other hand, you have the dendritic cell. That's your spy, your intelligence agent. It's not there to win the local battle. It's there to gather the intel needed to win the entire war. Totally different jobs, but they share one common goal: keeping you safe.
I know it's easy to think of all this as just, microscopic biology, but this cellular drama, this battle, it's happening inside of you right now, and it is absolutely fundamental to your health and your well-being every single day. So what's the crucial point? What's the big takeaway here? It's this. Your most powerful immune weapons, the T cells and B cells that create antibodies and memory, they'd just be sitting on the sidelines completely clueless that there's even a threat if it weren't for these first responders. Macrophages and dendritic cells are, quite literally, the gatekeepers of your most effective defenses. Just think for a second about what these silent defenders are doing for you right now. They're helping you heal from that paper cut you got yesterday. They are constantly scanning for cancerous cells. They're activating the forces you need to fight off a cold. And the most amazing part, they do all of this tirelessly and flawlessly every single second of every single day without you ever even knowing they're there. It really makes you wonder, doesn't it? If these are just two of the players on your internal security team, what other secret agents are out there defending you at this very moment? That's something to think about.